Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. I'm your host, David Tear, where all year I've been featuring songs from my personal list of the top 3,000 rock and roll songs of all time from 1954 to 1999. Today I have one of the early rock songs from 1956, as a matter of fact, and that song is number 2981 on my list, and that song is "The Flying Saucer" by Buchanan and Goodman. And before I go into this song, I just want to say a few things about, this is one of the early rock songs. Most people think rock and roll started around 55, 54, 55. And I have a book somewhere at home. It's by the Rolling Stone magazine. It's a large paperback book that I read probably 20 or 30 years ago. I think it's called The History of Rock and Roll. And one thing I remember reading in this book, they were talking about when rock and roll started, and they said it was as if an alien invasion had happened. I mean, it was just such a sudden craze in America. It was almost if some aliens had invaded and I guess had secretly brainwashed the young generation or something. That's what they said. I mean, I don't think they seriously believe this, and I don't either. But I mean, there were a lot of weird songs at the beginning of the rock era. A lot of them were about aliens invading, flying saucers. That was another big thing at that time. And so, this song is a case in point because I think it's a hilarious song, but it was a novelty song about an alien invasion, and these guys, Buchanan and Goodman, they actually had a number of novelty songs. I think Dickie Goodman in particular, he kind of continued this trend after this song came out. This song was kind of a fake radio news broadcast where they had said that an alien invasion had taken place, and they had a reporter. He was supposed to be a reporter interviewing a bunch of people as well as the aliens and having them say what was going on, and he would splice it with a sample of a rock song that was popular at the time. He did this with and there were actually two parts of this record, I guess both sides of the record. Uh, Part one and two, I think, went on for over 4 minutes, which is pretty long for that time. But they must have had about 12 or 13 songs that they sampled, and it was very hilarious how they did this. I mean, they sampled some very big artists like Elvis and Fats Domino and Little Richard and Chuck Berry and a lot of big hits of theirs from that time. And they even introduced the songs. They said that was Todd Gherkin's version of Shoes, and obviously it was Carl Perkins who did Blue Suede Shoes. So they even made fun of the titles, and it's a hilarious song, but it set a trend. And these guys did several other songs like this over the years afterwards. I guess Buchanan and Goodman, here's a picture of them, I guess, when they started out. And, that at 56, they came up with a flying saucer. The following year, they came up with, I think, three kind of continuations. They were all about alien invasions, by the way. So the first one was Flying Saucer the Second. I haven't heard any of these, by the way. The next was called Martian Melody, and the last, I guess, was called Santa and the Stellite. And I'm pretty sure they were referring to Sputnik because Sputnik was launched in October of 1957. That started the space race, and so anyway, that was their kind of follow-ups to the flying saucer. But then, I guess I don't know what happened to Buchanan. I think he went off and did some other kind of novelty songs. I didn't think he did the same kind of fake radio broadcast, but Goodman, Dickie Goodman did, and he actually had several other hits after the Flying Saucer and all the other ones that Buchanan and Goodman had done. In 1961, they had the Touchables, and they were all kind of make fun of things that were popular at the time. Like I think the Untouchables was a popular TV show in 1961, so they made a song spoof of it called the Touchables, and then they had a song called Ben Crazy in 1962, which I'm sure I haven't even heard most of these, but I'm pretty sure that was they were making fun of Ben Casey, the famous physician or author who I guess he was an LSD proponent, and he also wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, so maybe that was a reference to that. And then in '66, they had Batman and his grandmother, and of course there was Batman TV series that was popular at that time. I like that one, by the way. A lot of people think it's really campy, but I don't like the newer Batmans as much. And maybe I'm a little weird in that way, but I was actually very disappointed by the 1989 Batman movie with Michael Keaton and Kim Basinger. I thought it was going to be like the TV show, but obviously it wasn't. It was very dark. And then 69, they had a song called On Campus. That was probably about a lot of the political rallies that were going on then. They had a song, I do remember this one, it was called Energy Crisis 74. That came out in 1974. And then they had a song called Mr. Jaws. I think that this was their only other top 10 hit. I'm surprised this went to top 10. By the way, the Flying Saucer made it to number three. Mr. Jaws made it to number four, if you can believe that. I've heard this record. I don't think it's that great. Energy Crisis, I think, was better, and that just barely made the top 40. And the last one I guess they had was called Kong, and I haven't heard this one, but I think it was they were making fun of the King Kong movie that came out the previous year with Jessica Lange. Anyway, those were their novelty hits, and I think they were good novelty artists, and I think of all the songs I mentioned, I think I do like the Flying Saucer the best. So anyway, that's my profile on song number 2981, The Flying Saucer by Buchanan and Goodman. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.